Good evening, sports gamers. It is a lovely Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Central Time, and y'all know what that means. It's time for the SGO Press Pass, your look at what's going on in the sports video game world. Curtis, how did you feel about that intro? I'm trying out some new things.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when you went with like the your. I was like, what is he going with that?
Do you think the point is too much?
I thought you were pointing at me, so yeah, I was a little bit aggressive.
Okay, all right. Look, if you feel that way, I can't imagine how the viewers feel. So, I'm your host, Jake Jacobson. I am joined, as always, by Mr. Cali from the dojo himself, Curtis Russell. Curtis, how's it going? How's it going on this? Well, I don't know how it is for you. It's really gross and rainy here now, but like, how's it? How is your Tuesday?
It's going really well. Got a lot done today. Got my tags for my car renewed. Just seems like I'm always doing adult stuff on Tuesday.
You are always doing some adult shit. Do you see me chicken out?
Yeah.
You see me chicken out of the swear?
Yeah, you was a little, should I say it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you know what? I got up, I went outside, I walked around, I tried to catch a train to a GameStop, but it would have taken me 2 more minutes to walk there and then wait for the train to arrive. So I got my steps in.
To a GameStop. I haven't actually been to a GameStop in a very long time.
So I needed to get my code for my shiny Eternatus. And I don't want to brag too much about doing adult stuff, but I did fold laundry today, and like that, you know what? That felt pretty powerful. I felt pretty strong when I was done with that. Before we start talking about, oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, you good.
Now I'm talking over him though. Before we start talking about games, 2 things. As usual, if you want to be involved in the podcast today, you can leave your questions at any point in chat. We will be answering viewer questions at the end of the show. If you leave a question that's relevant to whatever topic we're talking about, we will probably address it then. But for the most part, we'll try to take them all at the end. If you want to be more involved in the conversation all the time, you can hop right into SGO's official Discord. You can get there by going to sportsgamersonline.com/Discord. That's going to put you right in. I'll tell you what, the baseball and the hockey channels always popping off. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm always really surprised. But yeah, Curtis.
Oh yeah.
I have some guesses, but I got to know. What have you been playing this week?
Hey, I'm pretty sure your first guess is right because it is true. I am still playing Cyberpunk.
All right.
And apparently the player base has got a bit of a bump recently in the last week.
I suspect Edge Runners has brought a lot of people back to that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so remember I told you I was getting pizza and I was gonna watch it.
yeah.
and I watched it. I really like it. I really like the show. I think it has a lot of the elements that are in the game, and it's actually influencing people to be net runners, like make net runner builds and like hack into people, like do the stealth stuff and hack into people and make them turn into a ball of fire and stuff like that. So
they make it look cool in the anime, I'm assuming.
Yeah, the anime is like this this very overzealous, like violent kind of anime. So like there's a lot of violence in it, a lot of blood. It's kind of quirky, I guess you would say, in a lot of ways too, but it tells a really good cyberpunk story of a kid just getting bullied at school, stuff like that. And he augments himself. He like gets like this spine, augmentation in his back, and it makes him like really strong and move quick and stuff like that. So it's really cool.
Yeah, so I didn't realize that Studio Trigger is the group that animated that series, which is like a long pedigree.
Yeah,
like doing anime. I had no idea that that's who did that. I was very surprised. So, everybody loves this show. I mean, yeah, I really do think that the show is so good that people are like, maybe I missed out. Maybe Cyberpunk 2077 was cool. And my assumption would be that they've probably, now that we're a year and a half. Ooh, how far away from Cyberpunk are we?
I think Cyberpunk was in 2020, dude.
Now that we're anywhere from 1 to 7 years out from Cyberpunk 2077, I bet that they've released enough patches that game feels playable now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I was going to do a video on it on my own separate channel and actually just kind of talk about my experience on PlayStation 5 compared to like PlayStation 4. Because I like the game a lot. It just isn't, it doesn't have the Skyrim effect. Like, it's like, oh my God, this is pushing the open world RPG genre. It doesn't have that. It's just, this is just a good RPG game.
Just a good RPG game. You know what? Sometimes you just need a good RPG game. Hey, by the way, follow Mr. Curtis on Twitter at Callie from the Dojo if you want to find out more about his feelings on Cyberpunk 2077. Curtis, I am happy to report that I have technically been playing a sports game this week. I downloaded a free-to-play game on Steam called Omega Strikers.
Okay.
This is a game made by some ex-Riot devs, which I didn't know until yesterday, but it makes a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear that? This is what I was warning you about before the show went live. I don't know if it comes through.
No, surprisingly, I didn't hear anything. So I literally did not hear anything.
That's great. It's still happening, so that's a good sign for the future of this audio. So Omega Strikers is a game made by some ex-Riot developers. Riot, of course, the company behind League of Legends, Valorant, a ton of other League of Legends related games. And it's hard. It's closest to being a soccer game, but there is no people I know have complained that you don't dribble the ball, so it's not fair to call it a soccer game. It's a bit like 3v3. It's a bit like a 3v3 MOBA air hockey. Does that mean anything to you?
That doesn't even make sense.
So it is a 3v3 game. There is a soccer-like field. There are goals on either end. One person plays as goalie on each side. And there is a puck, basically a disc that is used that you kick around, and you have to score it on your opponent's goal.
This game recently just came out too.
I think it like they just added a new character like yesterday, the 19th.
This is like anime, like it's like an anime style. Yeah, like you said, air hockey.
Yes. I think air hockey is like the best comparison, I think. So the characters are all basically MOBA characters. They're League of Legends characters. So you have skill, you have an attack that just hits the puck.
Yeah.
And then you have different skills. Some of them are offensive, some of them are defensive, because the characters also have health. And one of the ways you can overwhelm your opponent to help you score is you can kill them and temporarily remove them from the field, which then puts you in a power play. And now it's 2v3 or sometimes even 1v3.
Yeah.
And now that one person has to work extra hard to try to stop you from scoring. It's a lot of fun. I think it's getting a lot of support from a lot of League of Legends adjacent folks, especially because, it's an ex-Riot guys game. So it's getting
really fun. I'm looking at all of it right now. It looks really fun.
Yeah, it's free. You could download it right now. It's a lot of fun. I've been having a good time with it. I need to dig into it more. They've already released a couple of big patches to like nerf and buff characters. So it's like a game they have like a very close eye on. And like I said, like if you go into the game right now, there are about 5 or 6 characters who are blacked out, but they literally have a schedule for when those characters drop.
Yeah.
So like they already have they have a built-in roadmap for like new characters. It is MOBA. It is League of Legends style in that like you get like 4 free characters, and then you have to buy additional characters with in-game currency. But the game gives you enough in-game currency to buy your first character just from doing the tutorial stuff. And then you get enough to buy a second character in-game from doing like the first set of like missions. Yeah. So like it's a little generous on that regard. Plus like the 4 characters they give you are more than enough to like help you learn what the hell you're doing. They also give you a big old panda. They give you a big old bear. He's not a panda, but they give you a big old bear who's a goalie, and one of his abilities is literally that he's just bigger. and so it's easier for him to hit the ball.
This game actually looks really cool. I'm probably gonna end up downloading it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And I'm actually gonna play it with you.
We'll get back to this. I would love to start a series on I would love to start a series on this channel where we just film ourselves doing multiplayer in a game and reacting to it. I think that would be really fun. So.
I think that would be kind of cool. Yeah.
So I think we can get that to line up. That'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's Omega Strikers. You can download it right now for free on Steam and give it a shot. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun, and I think that a lot of big content creators are going to show it a lot of love at the beginning. So we'll see if that's enough to like keep this game going.
Well, that's us. So we're definitely going to do that. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, let us move into the news. We are going to start today with a little update on AEW Fight Forever. They showed it at Tokyo Game Show. If you're not sure what TGS is, it's Tokyo Game Show. So we got a little bit of new footage. We got to see some wrestlers, finishers. And by footage, I mean most of the people who captured stuff at Tokyo Game Show for AEW did it on a cell phone. So none of the footage is great, as you'll see, because we will show some of it eventually. But what little snippets we got kind of hint at some of the mechanics and some of the things that are going to be in play, presumably when the game comes out. For example, there's a clip of Thunder Rosa, and there's a clip of a match between Thunder Rosa and Hikaru Shida. In this clip, Thunder Rosa counters Hikaru Shida's finisher, the katana. And here's the thing. Again, this footage gonna be a little rough, as I've mentioned to Curtis before, and as I've sort of tried to preface by saying this is all on a cell phone. But you can kind of see here that she rolls out of the way of this big kick here that's supposed to be a finisher. So this is already after the animation happens. So that means that they're going to have like animations for, and in some cases I imagine special animations for being able to counter out of a finisher mid-finisher, basically, which is cool. That's a cool mechanic to have.
So that's why she like waved her finger right there.
Yeah, that was the like,
really cool.
Not me. Hold on.
Yeah.
Ooh, not me.
That was cool.
And then she ducks. So this is also what Thunder Rosa looks like in the video game, which, like, it's fine.
Yeah.
They make she's dressed like Tifa Lockhart, which I think is cool. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, a couple of other things. People who were there report that Big Show is in the game. And something interesting about Big Show is because he's if you don't know who Big Show is, he's very big. And they actually have a system in the game that takes that weight into account. So characters have a spirit meter. I don't exactly know what the spirit meter does. I believe it's the super meter. It's what they call the super meter. So like during gameplay, let me see if I can find a clip that actually shows it. Oh yeah, this one does. So yeah. So you can see down here where it says signature. That's the spirit meter. So like in other AKI games that this game is trying to be, you get that this spirit meter gets higher as you land hits and taunt. So like getting the audience involved builds that meter.
It's their own like momentum, right? Momentum.
Yeah. It is momentum-esque as well. Yeah.
Because the weight distribution, they've done it before in wrestling games before. I don't know if they have it in the new 2K. But I know definitely wrestling games in the past have done like something like that.
Yeah. So one of the mechanics in this game is if your spirit meter is not high enough, you actually just can't lift big guys like Big Show. Like the game won't let you do it, which I think is really interesting. I think that's a cool mechanic. We'll see how it feels to play. Most of the people that I saw who have talked about it on Twitter seem to like it. This footage, by the way, I want to go ahead and credit at Monster Brunch on Twitter. Is who uploaded a lot of these clips that I'm referencing and that we'll be talking about and seeing. The third interesting bit about the game that I think is new to Tokyo Game Show footage is that men and women are going to be able to wrestle each other. One of the full matches I found uploaded on YouTube is between Adam Cole and Hikaru Shida. So like that's cool. Like not every wrestling game lets you do that.
Yeah.
2K, I think, does mixed tag matches, but they go by the same TV rules that even AEW goes by, which is, I think, maybe part of why I'm so surprised by this, is that if a woman tags in, the other man has to tag out.
Yeah.
Like the men and the women can't wrestle each other on TV.
Right.
So it's cool that they're not reflecting that in the video
game. I actually, it looks, I don't know, it grows on me. Like every time I see this game, I'm like, you know what? This actually looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
every time I see it.
Yeah, y'all weren't here for this, obviously, but before the show, Curtis kind of confided in me that he might be kind of excited for the AEW video game. He might be a little bit of an AEW video game believer. This is not new. This is not new AEW footage stuff, but I want to complain about it anyway. So the introductions. The introductions are a little disappointing to me. Because you'll see. So like various different wrestling games have dealt with entrances in different ways. SmackDown and SmackDown 2 for the PlayStation had the thing where they would show the Titantron full screen, and then your character model would waltz out onto the screen with all of his polygons, and it would just have the Titantron playing in the background. Like that's one way to do it. You know, obviously now we're at like the WWE 2K games where you get like a full entrance. You get pyro in a lot of cases. You get to watch them walk down the ramp, watch them enter the ring. So AEW looks a little something like this, and this is not new footage. This is from Gamescom, so this is from 3 weeks ago.
We've got Kenny Omega versus Adam Cole lined up for you today.
I'm going to go ahead and say that this feels a little bit like an in-between of the old era, a new era of how these happened. So you see, like, this looks pretty decent, right?
Yeah.
Like, visually, this is pretty cool looking. There, it's over.
First, Kenny against Adam Cole.
And then here's Adam Cole. He warped to the ring. He's there already.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
and
you would see like
now it's
different.
Over.
Yeah, you would see like the different cutscenes, like them on the stage, them on the ramp, then them like going up the stairs into the ring.
Yeah. So each wrestler has their own like tiny chunk of their entrance that plays, and I'm in two camps on this. I appreciate that they just want you to get to the match. I enjoy building an entrance in WWE games, especially when you do create a character. I like being able to control the pyro and all the different aspects and the different camera angles. But once I'm like 3 in-game months into a season or whatever, I'm skipping all of the intros anyway. So I get it. But I'm still a little disappointed that like I just wanted the whole thing. I want the whole thing, and then I want to be able to choose to skip it if I'm not interested in what I'm seeing anymore. And so I just kind of wanted to complain about that live on the internet, Curtis. I don't know. We don't gotta like. There's no news here.
But that's why we do this show, man.
That's why we do this show. That's the thing. That's the thing.
Completely agree with you, though.
Yeah, I just want some kind of pomp and circumstance. You know what I mean? Like, I want it to feel like a bigger deal that the wrestlers come into the ring. Yeah, even if I hit the X button 2 times and then I don't see it.
Yeah, right. You do it one too many times, and I think all the wrestling games that we played in the past, we we hold them to such a high standard, and we just want, other wrestling games to kind of mimic those in some ways. So definitely seeing a whole introduction would be something that's basic.
Right.
But for some reason they gave you something like that. Like you said, it's a little bit like the older wrestling games.
Yeah. It like wants to bridge the gap between that retro feel of like how they had to render entrances before they had all of the tech to do it correctly, and then like what they do now that they have the tech.
Yeah. I remember like with like I think it was, what was it, WWE SmackDown versus Raw 08 or 07. I mean, you could like time the pyro exactly how you wanted to do it. It was so cool.
Yeah, I mean those creator wrestlers in those, I mean even the creator wrestler in the newer 2K games, even though the newer 2K games are like don't feel as good as the older ones. Like even the creator wrestlers still like there's so much detail. There's so much you can do.
Yeah,
like,
there was one year they did like you could do an entrance movie. Like you can actually create your own entrance movie. I forgot which one that was.
I think you might be able to upload videos to. So the last one I played was on the Xbox 360.
Okay.
And I think you could upload videos and custom songs, but you had to do it by burning them to a CD and then installing them to the Xbox 360 from the CD.
Oh no!
And I think AEW Fight Forever should do that. I think you should.
So cool.
I think you should be able to add custom music, but you have to burn it to a CD first, and it's installed on your Xbox. If they want to go full retro, they should go full retro.
What are you gonna put as your video?
Oh, my video. Oh, I don't know so much about that.
I'd upload like Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg, his music video.
Oh, the whole music video? Well, I was gonna say like I would probably do Dragula as the song. So I guess I could just do Dragula as the music, like the music video for Dragula too. Like,
that'd be cool. I could like put like my FIFA highlights on there. Like it would just
there we go. Yeah.
I'm good at footy, but wrestling, you don't know. You don't know how good I am.
Yeah. You want them to know. You want them to know, like, hey, like you come see me in my game. You know what I mean? Like, do you think they can get the announcer to say footy fanatic? Footy fanatic, cool. Curtis, footy fanatic, Russell. Because like it has to sound kind of pre-recorded because it always does.
Right.
Yeah.
MLB's good at that, by the way, like saying your name in the
really?
month. Like Curtis Russell, he's struck out in the last inning.
I think like I can't remember what game it was, but I entered Jacobson into a sports game in the last like 5 years, and it said the name Jacobson, and I was like, what the hell?
They don't usually have your name, and they don't have your last name, and
well, I just don't ever think about it. No, not really. Like So I was like really surprised that they were like Jacobson with the whatever, and I was like, whoa, what?
Oh yeah, 2K's doing 2K does it really well.
2K's really good about that. I think it might have been a 2K game. Yeah. We got some questions about how we feel about 2K23. I feel bad that I have to keep saying this every week, but I'm a broke boy and I don't have 2K23 yet. I'm going to buy the game when I can afford it, but it's gonna be a while. Curtis, I know you said that you sort of brushed up on our official review, on which you can find at youtube.com/sportsgamersonline. Seems silly to say the link now that I know you might be watching this on YouTube, all of you, but feels important to specify it anyway.
Absolutely, yeah. Who reviewed it? Is it Chris that reviewed it?
It was Chris, yeah.
Yeah, he's just really into he really likes the gameplay. That's what he's really into. Everything else, he's just like, it's newer. It's cool. That's kind of when I got the gist of it, like listening to it. Like me, I would really look at my career and be like, okay, like what did they change? But he's saying everything that everybody else is kind of saying, that they just want to play basketball. They don't want to be producers, rap producers. Right. They don't want to, host a get together in a book club. Like they don't want to do any of that stuff.
Right. And it seems like the changes that they've made, again, like anecdotally, I talked about this last week too. Like it seems like a lot of the changes they've made to like try to encourage more teamwork and balance that stuff out. It seems like a lot of that stuff really landed this year. So like this I can commiserate with. So don't worry about me, says, if you're listening to this, they say, I'm just sick of 2K taking over a fifth of my hard drive every year. If I used my Xbox Series S more, this would be a problem as well. But since it's basically my 2K machine already, it's not that big of a deal. But I agree with this. Like when I got the code for 2K22 last year, it took me like 6 hours on pretty decent like gigabit internet. It took me like 3 to 4 hours to put the dang thing on the box. So like I can't imagine people who are like paying for Comcast or paying for AT&T or like paying for something else that they could afford that's slow internet. Like I can't imagine spending a whole day to like install any video game, which is how they all are now, like much less NBA 2K23.
2K was like the first game where you installed it, the first sports game that I noticed that like you installed it, you go into the game and it's still installing. Like it has to get all the players in there and everything, all the modes together. And I'm like, and FIFA started doing it recently too. And I'm like, there's that much going on?
Well, in some of those games, like 2K22, you can boot that game up while it's still installing modes, but you can't do anything. So it's also like, why are you even letting me boot? Like, this is worse. It's worse that you're doing this.
Do you guys think 2K is alienating a good portion of players based on the career, my career?
So I don't know that this is as much of an issue, really. Like, what if a good number of people that play it don't actually like rap? Are you required to do that stuff?
That is a good question.
Because I don't actually know. And this is where, like, again, like, this is where, like, I feel bad. Like someday when Mike Knox is back, by the way, I didn't actually say this up top. Mike Knox, he's totally fine. He is celebrating his anniversary. So he's not with us tonight. He will be back hopefully next week. And we're really excited to have him back.
Yeah.
I need to know more about how he feels about movies, really. But
no.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I don't know that, like, I don't know that I agree that 2K is alienating players based on my career. I would say that, like, if it felt like 2K, if it felt like most of the balance changes or story updates or most of the work from 22 to 23 went into my career, I would consider that maybe this is something to talk about. But I feel like it's pretty clear that a lot of work went into making just the basketball feel better. And again, like, I think to your credit, like, Chris's review says this, right? Like, Chris feels like, the basketball is fun to play. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't necessarily think this is true. If people don't like rap music, like, they're missing out on a good genre of music. So, like, I don't know what to tell them. But
there's a lot of, like, rappers that are involved with 2K, NBA 2K. So maybe that's why they kind of went down that route.
Oh, maybe
J. Cole's in there.
It's all over the soundtrack. J. Cole is a cover athlete. Please respect.
Oh,
J.
my
Cole
bad.
Curtis. NBA 2K23 cover athlete.
Cover athlete. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, I completely, my bad, Mr. Jermaine. You're right.
Yeah, just one more thing about, like, technology is making things supposed to make things easier and not harder. God, I miss the PS3 and 360. So the beta for Modern for Warzone 2 started today, and it reminded me that I had to buy, when me and my buds used to play Warzone, I had to buy an entire external hard drive just to put Warzone on, so it didn't take up 90% of my computer.
I know it's ridiculous.
Make games smaller. Make games. Here's my call to action. Make games smaller and look worse. I don't just let me fit 60 games on one thing. I don't. Come on.
Because everybody has to have an external hard drive. I have one for my PlayStation 5.
When someone shoots me in the head in the shooting game, it doesn't need to look realistic. I get it.
I know what happened.
But I would like to put 4 video games on my PlayStation. You know what I mean? And not just 1.5. I don't need any of the things I own to be the Warzone machine.
Exactly. I feel bad for the people that still download, like, Netflix and stuff on their Spotify. Like, you still have to contribute that to your memory.
Right. Yeah. Like, Discord on Xbox now. Like, that takes up space. Like,
oh my goodness.
It's smart, but it takes up space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh man.
I should have prepped this, because we need to take a quick break, but I don't have a video clip for our quick break because I am unprofessional.
We show a little bit of the 2K review, maybe?
This is what I'm trying to find, a chunk of the 2K review. Yeah. And you know what? I'll start at gameplay, actually.
Nice.
Because that's going to kind of feed into our point here. Okay. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to show you a clip from Chris's review of NBA 2K23. When we get back, we're going to dip into Football Manager 23. And then we're going to talk about the big GTA Rockstar leak, because it's not about sports games, but it feels pretty important to talk about.
Yes, sir.
So we are going to grab a quick drink once I click on all of the correct buttons. And we will be right back.
All right.
As far as the actual play on the basketball court, the developers have made another stride as far as realism is concerned. The addition of scoop shots is such a fun thing to pull off in traffic, completely catching your defender off guard, and it's something I'm surprised we ever lived without, to be honest. Next, we're going to talk about the most controversial topic as far as gameplay is every year, which is the shooting. The game has adopted a bit of a green it or you're out of luck philosophy this year, which I'm sure is going to piss a lot of people off, but if left untouched, it's really going to have to force gamers to know their jumpers like the back of their hand. Maybe using the numerous different shot meters we have at our disposal this year, or turn it off, I don't know, will help you. It's funny though, because I've noticed a lot of people shooting like Shaq at the free throw line because of the same green or bust way the game plays as of right now. But since offensive rebounds are kind of crazy right now, I guess that makes up for it. But yeah, that also needs to be addressed ASAP. I feel the longer the game is out, the more badges people will get, which hopefully means the better they will shoot. So the game won't feel as paintball heavy, but we'll find out. For dribbling, the controls have been altered to involve more right stick movement if you choose to veer that way instead of the button. So that will take some getting used to, but being able to switch speeds and being smart and efficient with your dribbling is the name of the game this year, with the addition of adrenaline boost, whose main goal is to prevent the low IQ dribblers from being so prevalent. So it's been so far so good with being punishing enough when you use all your adrenaline boost, and dribbling being rewarding when pulling off an effective move at the right time. Another thing is I love how loose the ball feels. Sometimes me or my opponent will bobble it, and if the ball doesn't interact with another player, you will lose it. Now, probably my biggest gripe with the gameplay is how easy it is to score in the paint. I used to think, okay, it's because I'm under the hoop. Nope. Driving on two defenders, they all finish like Ja Morant. And be camped out against Westbrook, oh, that ball is going in. You might as well start jogging back down the court if they even get close to the paint. Okay, I exaggerate, but paintball is alive and well, especially if somebody never catches on to the shooting. Although paint defense is non-existent, there are things I do like the computer going for strips when you try to bring the ball up to shoot. But with them nuking chase down blocks to the degree they did, I don't think it's enough to counter the threat of even the most average paintballer in 2K23 as of right now. Now, the defensive shading mechanic is a fun addition to the game, and for those who have played live, it probably reminds you a little bit of that. And positioning your player with the flick of the stick to cut off certain angles has been fun to get the hang of. I will say the game is a lot more punishing on lazy defense and relying on getting a bare minimum late contest. Because if you play the computer or somebody who knows how to shoot, they will light you up if you leave them open. You cannot get away with lazy defense. But it feels a lot more rewarding when you do properly get your hand in there and affect their shot. You have to earn your contest this year. And that is felt all through playing defense in 2K23. Take the adrenaline bar being on defense as well. You lose a bar if you attempt a block shot or a steal attempt. So you can't spam either. You have to be smart with your steal attempts now, and I love it. And thank you for not having automatic fouls on steal attempts if you don't get them now. Because along with the adrenaline bar, that would have just been cruel. Playing against the computer, I always make sure how well do they play the pick and roll. Because if it's trash, it's less of a challenge because you could just spam that all day. So I'll say the computer does a good job on the roll man with the hedge defender and the hedge defender in general, making sure things stay in order. You're going to have to fake a shot to get them to jump, then pass to consistently get the roll man open. One annoying thing is the fact nobody else ever helps off to slow down the pick and roll, and more specifically the roll guy, which trickles down to playing users. So if I switch on to control the hedge guy, the roll man, if I slip up, gets a clean lane to the hoop way more often than I would like. Nobody is rotating consistently. On offense, once again, they do shine running plays and getting stars open for high percentage shots and offer enough on the fly thinking to punish you because you didn't expect the computer to see something you did late in the possession. Another thing I'm sure for those who have played the Georgetown, North Carolina game, you notice just how dominant big men are under the computer's control, and I love it. Too many years, you don't feel the presence of a Jokic or Embiid on the opponent's team, and that has completely flipped.
Okay, we're back. That's a little sloppy, but you know what? We're getting the hang of it. Yeah, I'm seeing some chatter today. A lot of people in chat coming out in support of Madden 23. Mike Knox is feeling this. I know Mike Knox is a very busy man tonight, but he's feeling all this love. I can tell. I know it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely.
Now, this isn't actually, before we move on, I want to bring this up because I actually think this is a very interesting idea, which is essentially that, like, so Call of Duty, when you install Call of Duty to your computer, you can choose multiplayer, you can choose campaign, you can choose Warzone. You don't have to install all three of those things. You can only install the things you know you're going to play.
Right.
So like I've never installed a Call of Duty campaign on my computer, not once. And I do think that's an interesting concept if you can already boot up 2K without having every aspect of 2K on your console, maybe let me choose to not put maybe not choose to let me not put my player on, or like maybe I just want to do the W. Maybe let me take my career off. I don't know.
That's
an
really
interesting concept.
dope.
That's a cool. That's an interesting idea.
I think I believe I know for sure on computer, on PC, the Halo Master Chief Collection lets you do that. You can, like, if you really like Halo Reach's multiplayer, but you like Halo 3's campaign, you can just have those two. That's it.
Yeah.
You want both Halo 3 multiplayer and campaign? You can do that. You can kind of distribute what you're putting your memory to.
Yeah, I think that that is only I don't think that's a solution. I think that's a
compensation
compromise. Yeah. But like, if we're not going to make games smaller and look worse, like I would like them to, then the least they can do is be like, well, look, here's all of our games are in cubes and you can choose the cubes you want to play. And the other cubes will keep off of the console. Don't even sweat it.
We could lean towards that, especially in consoles, because when you're on a PlayStation 5, if I'm playing FIFA and I just want to play FIFA Pro Clubs, like, you could just click on the Pro Clubs tab and it'll start the activity. It'll like send your friends the party invite, and then you'll jump into FIFA, but into the Pro Clubs menu immediately. So it's in the same way. It's kind of like that. So they should kind of do that with every game.
Yeah, so they could. Well, you're saying there's a chance, Curtis. You're saying that
there's a chance.
Curtis, let's keep you talking. Tell us what we know so far about Football Manager 23.
Man, oh man. Football Manager 23. I was really surprised when I was looking at the media assets, because I think these screenshots are really good. I think they have a few of them with a lot of their licenses. So they have the Europa League license, they have the Champions League license. I think this is really big for Football Manager, because Football Manager is a lot like PES. It doesn't have every single license like FIFA does. So it's really cool to see that. I think with Football Manager, it's just the biggest, most fun grind you can ever do.
Sure.
Of course, Jake, you're in a Destiny that might be yours, but Football Manager is great because you can completely start at the bottom level of English football. Literally, your players can be window cleaners by day, footballers by night, and then you just kind of grow that team into a well-oiled machine. And getting to those Champions League finals are like some of the biggest things. But what do we know? A lot. But what do we know about Football Manager 23? We actually don't know much. The article I put on Sports Gamers Online was really more of like what to expect. Yeah, definitely check it out on sportsgamersonline.com. So Football Manager will be on Football Manager 23 will be on PlayStation 5 for the very first time. This is kind of, definitely. It's something that it's been kind of brewing, because they had it on Game Pass for PC and for Xbox.
Right. So because it was a big deal that it was on Xbox last year, if I recall, right? It was the first time it had been on console in a while.
Yes. Yeah. I don't really recommend it for console. I think it's just better on laptop.
I mean, it's you got to have a pretty powerful calculator to run all these background numbers, and sometimes I suspect the consoles aren't it. So
exactly. I expect them to go deeper into the data hub tab that they had last year. They had like this data hub tab there that broke up like passing stats. The analytics were a lot more deeper, just to help you figure out how good your team is doing throughout the season. I really expect them to do that, really go deeper into that. And I think that's what football fans really, really want. The second thing I talked about was like more action on the pitch. I believe that they will help out or really improve like their gameplay engine. Just make it look a little bit more. It doesn't look like FIFA, of course. It looks like a simulation.
Right. Right. Yeah. It doesn't need to look like FIFA either, though.
But it's like if you have like a really tricky winger, like somebody like Anthony from Jake just messed with like the whole screen there. That's why. If you're listening on Spotify, I know that didn't make any sense. I was like,
sorry, everyone. I don't know what happened there. That was real weird. Go ahead. Go ahead, Curtis. I'm real sorry.
You good? If you have somebody like Anthony, you know, that like a tricky winger like Neymar and Anthony, you don't even know that they're tricky because they're just kind of like they're running with the ball and then they kind of get in the box, make a little cross, and you're like, that was tricky in, you know, in Football Manager sense. But, you know, they'll do a step over, they'll do like a little Ronaldo move, and then you'll be like, okay, that's my tricky winger. Or like you'll say,
right, yeah.
Get creative. Like, I like when you do that, and then your team starts dinking the ball around really, really quick and start doing all that stuff. They're probably going to help all that, probably improve all that this year. And then one thing I didn't really talk about much, but they'll probably do is like formations and tactics. Like the game now is like it's so different. Like I'm a fullback by trade. And when I was in high school, like fullbacks didn't bomb forward too much, but now like fullbacks are like basically the new wingers. So like you're probably going to get this game kind of following the trends that are in real life football. So that's probably what's going to happen. You guys can check out my official review of FM22, the game last year, on this channel, which I'm really proud of because it did really good. Like for a simulation game, a football simulation game, I thought the numbers were really good.
I mean, people like these games, like this, like Football Manager and out of park baseball are the two like management games I hear about every year. So I'm always happy to see fun. Out of the park baseball.
Park, yeah.
It's hard for me to say, but I don't think everybody has that problem. I think that's just a me problem. It's pretty fun. They do their version of Ultimate Team, but it almost feels like a idle game because you're never playing. So you're just putting these players with their overalls and setting the stats like you would with any other management game. It's just you're doing it with real players from real eras of baseball with overall numbers that you pull from packs. But like it feels different. It doesn't feel like an Ultimate Team, even though it is, because you're never controlling them. You're just setting them and then turning the game off. Yeah. So we will hear more about Football Manager 23.
It comes out in November 8th. When we hear more about it, we'll hear more about it in October.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was asking both questions. So yeah. We're looking at November.
November 8th, early November,
sometime next month.
Mm-hmm.
So all right. Let's talk about Rockstar. So on was this Saturday or was this Sunday? I want to say this was like Saturday, in between Saturday and Sunday.
Something like that.
At like something like 2 a.m. in the morning, a user by the name of Teapot Uber Hacker posted on the GTA Forums website and said, "Hi, here are 90 footage/clips from Grand Theft Auto 6. It's possible I could leak more data soon. GTA 5 and 6 source code and assets. GTA 6 testing build." And then he lists his Telegram if anybody wants to reach out to him about questions. And then he links a big zip file that indeed contains what he calls 90 footage/clips. That includes short videos. That includes lots of images. Now, posts like this, leaks like this, invite a lot of skepticism. So for a while, this GTA Forums post just became a lot of people saying, okay, prove it. Show me this part of the source code. And then this guy, Teapot Uber Hacker, control Fing the source code, finding that part of the source code, screenshotting it, and then posting it in the forum. This eventually was enough to convince most people that this guy really did what he said he did.
Yeah.
So a couple of things about this whole scenario, we will be really tiptoeing through this. We will not be showing you anything from the hack because I like this podcast and I like when it stays on YouTube so that y'all can keep watching and listening to it. Yeah. And if we even show a second of this footage, those things will not happen. And our boss will be very justifiably mad at us. However, this person, Teapot Uber Hacker, the Uber Hacker part of this gentleman's name comes from their assertion, I suppose, that they were the people involved in a Uber, the driving company breach, which I believe happened like...
Wasn't it a few months
ago? Yeah, a month or a few ago. Those are Look, I'm sorry, don't worry about me, but I gotta be selfish in this regard, okay? I gotta protect the company in this regard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this person claims to be the same person who caused a big breach in Uber's computer systems. Now, the way this was done was through some form of social engineering, which basically means that they reached out to people who worked at Uber, built some kind of rapport, and then got their password and username from them either via a phishing link at that point or just by asking and receiving it. This is presumably the same way they did it to Rockstar. Their description of the events were that they obtained login info for a company Slack channel. And because so many companies are doing work from home in game development, as well as everywhere in the world, this data was just in the cloud. And this guy reached out and downloaded all of this data from the cloud because it's being shared back and forth between developers.
Yeah.
Jason Schreier, who is I believe, games writer at Bloomberg right now, reached out to Rockstar Games early September 18th. So that would have been Sunday, and confirmed that, hey, yeah, all this data is real and it's a real leak. Turns out all of this stuff is our stuff. It's what we have of GTA 6 so far.
Which in return is the biggest leak in video game history.
Easily, yeah. I mean, like we have had games source codes leak before. Often they are older games. There have been situations where hackers have claimed but never released source code for games. In sort of blackmail situations. This was wild, and part of what made this so wild is just how casual it was. This guy was literally control effing parts of source code for any person who was like, okay, what about, I don't know enough about source code to give good examples here, but they were literally just being like, all right, show me this part. And they were like, cool, I found it. It's right here.
That part I didn't even know. I actually learned about that right now because watching the videos, I don't know what you saw, Jake. But watching the videos, go ahead. I'll let you go.
I watched a little bit I watched some of the cutscene stuff. I watched the cutscene where he's in the club. I watched the rednecks talking about the Wyoming conspiracy or whatever. I forget which state. Oh, Sweden. Sorry, it's not a state. The conspiracy theory cutscene, which really, really felt like a Rockstar game cutscene. So like that at that point, I was like, yeah, this is real, even if they haven't. It was thank you iDej or iDej. I got it right last week and I've already forgotten, so I'm sorry. thank you writer for the site, Brandon. Yes, it was somebody claimed to have the source code for 2077. I don't actually think anything ever came from that.
Yeah,
that's one of those situations where they were trying to do like a I'm doing this for the people, blah blah blah. But like, you know, the people like Cyberpunk 2077 now. So
it's
however
cool.
that ended up up. But yeah, Curtis, what are your thoughts on this sort of overall? Like what are your thoughts on when people leak things for games? What are your thoughts on this specific leak? Like, I'm interested in both of your opinions on this.
Man, it is so big. This situation is so huge that I have so many different kind of opinions, because it's like it was like once when it leaked, I was so excited. I was like, oh my goodness, so this is really it, because I saw that the scene you're talking about, that was one of the scenes that made me think, oh no, this is legit, because it's the typical Rockstar dialogue.
Oh yeah. It's so GTA. Like,
it was so GTA. And Jason, the guy that was in, his character model looks so good. And then Lucia, the woman, looks so good. And I was like, they're not, I don't think the game is very, very far along, but these character models are pinpoint. They're on right now.
Right. And these cutscenes are voiced. Like these cutscenes have voice actors.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
the club that they were in had music going and everything like that. It was like, okay, this is pretty legit. This is pretty legit. So that immediately I was like, this is real. But I think that I said it when I saw it. I said, this has to be the biggest leak of video game history, because it's not only just, it's the sheer amount that the guy had. 90 screenshots
videos. Yeah.
And
source code.
And a source. Yeah, exactly. And then this is the biggest game right now that everybody's anticipating. This is the biggest series right now.
Right.
This is huge. GTA 5 is not only just a massive game, but is the biggest piece of media out there. This company is massive. When I told my mother this, and she was like, "Oh my God, Grand Theft Auto?" I was like, "Yeah, they leaked that game," and she was like, "I know that game. That's how big it is. My mom knows."
Right.
That's how massive this series is. But I don't like the people that are saying that Rockstar leaked this to get, hype around the game. Rockstar doesn't need this.
No, there's no way. No, that's absolutely not what happened here. Like, this person got someone's Slack info. Part of the thing, one of the sort of gross parts of this forum is that people were like trying to figure out which employees' login info they got.
Oof.
And like we're like finding names on LinkedIn, and like that stuff I think is that stuff is gross. Like,
yeah,
there's no need to like endanger these employees, like to get them involved in this in any way. Yes. To your point, Curtis, like Rockstar's never needed publicity to do a publicity stunt. The publicity stunt for Rockstar is that they said, "Hey, we're making GTA 6," and people were like,
right.
You know what I mean? You did. That's not going to come through on the audio version of this podcast, but I made a face. That's all you need.
You made it. Yeah. The only time they're ever at E3 is when they're moving GTA 5 to another console, but they're never there to showcase a brand new game. They're never there for that. They're not at PAX East. They're not at Gamescom, because they don't need it. They could show a picture of CJ's elbow and be like, GTA 6 question mark on their official Twitter, and it would be the biggest piece of gaming news that month.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
It'd be nuts. But I think once I saw it, it was like watching, I don't know, it was like looking at very nasty videos. It was like, did I need to do that? Because now I feel bad about doing that.
You didn't feel like you meant to see it. Yeah.
I was
you felt like you were in a room you're not supposed to be in. And
right.
Like, I can't just go, but like,
I like
but
this.
Like, I should go. I think that the kind of community response has been a lot of people don't understand how game development works, which is the internet, by the way. There are a lot of people being like, this game looks so bad, there's no way I'm gonna buy this, as if like this isn't a game that's releasing in 2024 at the earliest. So like, it's so stupid to judge stuff like that at this point. It has spawned a really fun, a lot of other game developers have been sharing their first builds of games in sort of a bizarre solidarity move. There's the Control one is so funny. Control,
I did not like that game.
A game of the year, like a graphic, like won awards for how good that game looked. Released their like early build of the game, and it looks so funny.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
You should, yeah, you
I'm about
folks
to check
should.
it out.
I don't have we don't have time for me to just show a bunch of these off, although I would like to. But
Mhm.
if you get a chance, like look around Twitter, a lot of developers are sharing their like first builds of games, and
Yeah.
man, it's so funny. It's maybe one of the better things to come out of this whole ordeal. So Rockstar obviously responded to this at some point, and I'm going to throw it up, but I'm also going to read it for the audio.
Nice.
Just to prove that this is the Rockstar Games account, as you can see. We recently suffered a network intrusion in which an unauthorized third party illegally accessed and downloaded confidential information from our systems, including early development footage for the next Grand Theft Auto. At this time, we do not anticipate any disruption to our live game services, nor any long-term effect on the development of our ongoing projects. We are extremely disappointed to have any details of our next game shared with you all in this way. Our work on the next Grand Theft Auto game will continue as planned, and we remain as committed as ever to delivering an experience to you, our players, that truly exceeds your expectations. We will update everyone again soon, and of course, we'll properly introduce you to this next game when it is ready. We want to thank everyone for their ongoing support through this situation, the Rockstar Games team.
Now, when I read that, that's when I felt bad because, first of all, the fact that Rockstar comes out and they confirm that is what it is, that's what makes it really big because they usually don't do that. But the thing that really hurts when I actually do read that is that we'll properly introduce you to these characters, this world, and I think it sucks in that way that's how we see it. And we see it in very rough days.
Right. And like it's different from like a leak of a trailer or a leak of a finished game because like when somebody leaks a trailer for a finished game, like you're seeing what you're seeing maybe a week in advance, maybe a month early, but like leaking I'm a little less. I think that the ways in which the footage was obtained sucks.
Yeah.
And I think that I do understand that people are more upset because it's unfinished bit of the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely, extremely early bit of the game. Like that, like you don't ever want to show someone like, you know, like I don't ever want to show someone the first draft of an article I write for the website. And that's a much smaller scale thing than like a full video game. So I totally get the sentiment on that.
Right. I think good thing there wasn't any serious spoilers either, because I watched a good bit of what was on there. Unfortunately, I did. I do like the fact that there is some mechanics returning from not from the GTA series, but from Red Dead. I actually liked what I saw, Jake. Like honestly, I actually thought there was some good stuff in there.
Yeah, I think that's the sentiment that a lot of people share. I think a lot of people felt that way of being like, well, yeah, like I'm excited to see this thing when it gets polished. Like
and people really liking the first female protagonist. I've seen nothing but good things being said about Lucy. I really enjoy that because I'm a person that I really advocate for women in gaming, and like Aloy's a great character. Lara Croft is, well, for the first one was a good
Tomb Raider is a great character.
Tomb Raider is a great character.
Metroid is a great character.
Things like that. Yeah, really
I guess like they had announced that, I don't think they had announced the name Lucia, but they had announced that or Lucia, but I think that they had announced that they were going to be two they were going to be two pro tags, and that one of them was going to be Latina female. So like that's not like
where I got that from is like they're like talking in the car and it pops up her name and she's talking to Jason. That's where I get it from. Right.
No. Yeah, that is the name. That's the name in the leak. But like that info, the info on who the playable characters are, I think they announced when they did all of the GTA press stuff initially to be like, hey, we're making GTA 6. So
yeah, right. Yeah, it's sad.
Sorry to keep talking over you.
No, you're good. No, yeah, it's a sad thing. It's good to see other companies like Santa Monica Studios, you know, come out and say, you know, that we're behind everybody at Rockstar, because it must have been a dumpster fire yesterday trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, like somebody whose job it is to not be at work on a Sunday had to do a lot of stuff on a Sunday, I bet.
Yeah, that must have been a very funny phone call. Like, they leaked the what? They
Yeah,
leaked.
they
What?
did. Who has all of it? Are you serious?
90?
90?
What?
Let's take a handful of viewer questions
Oh yeah.
now before we get out of here, before we get out of y'all's hair. And thank you, of course, for being those viewers. If you have a question, you can go ahead and leave it in chat. I will scroll up, which is the real series of words that are actually pronounced, and see what we've missed. But if you have any questions, whether they be about something we talked about, whether they be about sports games, whether they be about not sports games, you go ahead and leave them in chat right now. And we will try to cover and answer what we can. We did talk about our brief thoughts on NBA 2K23. I am scrolling. We did talk about my career. When is Axis Football 23 coming out on console? That's a great question. I think that's a 2020. I'm guessing. Who do you? I'm guessing that's probably. If I had to put a button on it, I would say Axis Football 23 is probably late 2023.
Goodness.
Well, no, I guess no. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of not Axis Football. I'm thinking of
Maximum Football.
Maximum Football probably probably 2023, late 2023, I would guess.
Right.
You know what? We talked to September. Axis Football 2023. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So Axis Football. So you can actually go to sportsgamersonline.com and read about this. The managing editor Michael Straw actually sat down in an interview with Danny Jugan, the developer of Axis Football. I believe if I had to guess, I'd say both of them are coming out in September. He says Axis Football is coming out for September for PC via Steam, with a console release to come shortly after. I can't imagine it would be that much longer. My only guess would be that the greenlight process for each console is a longer process than the greenlight process for Steam. I would say the latest that Axis Football comes out on console is probably going to be mid-October. But yeah, that's a good question, actually. I might try to reach out to him and follow up on this and see if they have it and see if he has a date. And that's maybe something we could touch on next week. It's a good question. I'm not going to acknowledge this. We're going to skip to anything new about the 2K golf game. That's a good question. I think we have somebody writing that up right now, but that article's not on the website yet.
Well, we've had news like recently in the last week and a half, right? Of that.
Yes. PGA.
Is it 2K the PGA Tour? I believe we did. There's a gameplay trailer. They brought in a lot of licensed courses.
Yeah, I think that's the last big news that I know of. Was they did a big list of a lot of the licensed courses. Which do you want to read some of those off while I'm trying to do?
Yeah. So of course a lot of these are like places. So they have like TPC Boston, TPC Louisiana, Riverlands, San Antonio, Sawgrass, Scottsdale, Southwind, Summerlin, Twin Cities. I mean, there's a lot on here, and it just seems like this game. I've looked at like the trailer and stuff like that. It actually looks really, really good, especially for like a golf game, because I played the best golf game earlier this year anyway.
Sim golf.
No.
Sim golf, obviously. Yeah. I got you.
No, curse to golf, okay?
They announced on the 15th. Here's some hot news, Vin Doom. They announced on the 15th Grab your crew and turn up the competition with Top Golf Mode in PGA Tour 2K23. World exclusive dropping on October 14th.
Uh-oh. Well,
I hope
got until October.
I hope that's what you wanted to hear.
Is 2K NFL game even a real thing? It's like we get that every show.
So here's my official feedback, or here's my official answer to that. Don't worry about me. I have reached out to 2K via email to see if they are willing to give me an update for the podcast on whether or not the 2K NFL game is being developed still. I have not heard anything back yet. I will send a second email this week because it is one of the things we get a lot of questions about, and I would love to be able to give you an answer. So my answer to you, don't worry about me, is I'm doing my best. And I will let you know, hopefully by next week, that we've got a little bit of news on the NFL 2K game and whether or not it is real. Folks, thank you for watching us. I know that this trio's been down to 2 for the last 2 weeks. But your support has not been cut in a third. Y'all have really been coming out and watching us and putting up with us and listening to us on Spotify and whatever podcast this comes out, whatever podcast app this comes out on. And we're really appreciative. We couldn't do this without y'all's support. We couldn't have brought the podcast back with y'all's support. So it's great to see y'all. It's great that y'all are around. We really appreciate you coming out. Having said that, that's going to do it for this week. We're going to get out of here. I got to fill this cup with more water. Curtis got to do some more adult stuff, I'm sure. As usual, we will be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. As usual, hopefully we will be joined by the CEO himself, Mike Knox, by then, and we'll be able to give you a full NBA 2K23 rundown. So look forward to that. Otherwise, Curtis, you got anything you want to say to the people before we go?
Yeah, just make sure you guys subscribe to this channel, Sports Gamers Online, and go ahead and follow me at Cali from the Dojo. I'm going to be doing, if you just want to hear about more stuff from me about Cyberpunk, go ahead and just keep up with my Twitter, and you'll be able to get on my other channel. And yeah, make sure you guys check out sportsgamersonline.com too. We got a lot of great stuff going on there.
That's right. We got everything we talked about today is something that's been up on the website in the last 4 days. We got at least a little bit of news about it. Check it out.
Jake needs to go edit my Serious Fun Football.
I need to go edit an article about Seriously Fun Football or Serious Fun Football. Sorry that I keep forgetting. Thank you for watching. We're going to get out of your hair. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.